Not gonna lie, it feels like it was a repeat of the friendly match against Sunderland, yet another 2 goals scored. But most importantly, the thing we should focus on the most, obviously, is yet another clean sheet. Now, we played up to now 3 friendly matches against 3 teams which, to be honest with you, our biggest objective, yes, was to win. But I'll be honest with you, in the friendly match against Trastevere, in the friendly match against Sunderland, and in this friendly match against Portimonense, one of the big objectives was also to not concede and to keep 3 clean sheets. And that's exactly what we did. Starting from the next friendly match, which, as you can see from the graphic down below, it is on Tuesday against Sporting Lisbon. And then after that, we've got Nice. And then after that, we've got Tottenham. So, these first 3 friendly matches were the easiest friendly matches. Now things are going to become a little bit more serious. Obviously, there are still friendly matches. There is no competition side to these matches, but it's always good to prepare the best way possible. In this live stream, I want to give you a match analysis of yesterday's match, which obviously ended 2-0 to us against first division Portuguese team named Portimonense, who last season ended 16th, and they are, they're on great. There's a big statistic which just pops up when you talk about Portimonense. They are a team which don't score a lot of goals. In fact, in the last Portuguese season, they scored 31 goals in 34 matches. That is very, very bad when it comes to scoring. In a way, they showed us that because they didn't create much. They created a few chances in the first half, but not anything major. And I'll be honest with you, I've said this already against Sunderland. Our defense, our defenders, you just can see that they know each other really well. And the good thing yesterday was Treepy. And we'll talk about the young stars as well. I mean, I'll be honest, as many people are saying in the chat, yesterday's match was not a perfect match. Yesterday's match was plenty of errors, against a team which obviously you expect more. But at the end of the day, yes, there were a lot of mistakes to kind of improve on, and there are still a lot of improvements to make. But you do need to kind of we need to focus on the fact that the team is coming from a Conference League win. Then obviously for 1 month they've been without playing football, relaxing and that stuff. So the fact of playing back together as a family, just like we ended the season last season, it will take time for these players to get back playing together. But it's normal, like in every single team. I don't want to necessarily focus on that as much as there were a lot of errors. I'll be honest with you, it wasn't a good match. I don't think we played phenomenally, but one thing which I will say is that the first half Roma was a completely different team to the second half Roma which played yesterday. And just because I think the second half yesterday, the players who played in the second half, and there were a lot of rotations, created way more chances than the first half Roma. In the first half, yes, we did score a goal. Treepy scored, and we'll talk about him in a sec. But overall, we have got some big players in the first half which are not playing well at all. And I am focusing on 2 of them, one of them in particular, and then obviously there is another one as well. The 2 players which I think need a lot of improvements, and we'll talk about them in a second, are Felix and Shaarawy. Felix and Shaarawy yesterday both started and both were playing in the attacking section, and they were tremendous. Shaarawy, in my opinion, Mourinho is giving him a different position. He's kind of experimenting with Shaarawy in a more attacking position because, we've seen how Mourinho plays Shaarawy too deep, as he played him as a substitution of Zalewski once and a substitution of Spinazzola once. He played Shaarawy next to Pellegrini yesterday, and every single time a ball went forward, Shaarawy was offside, and there's something missing about Shaarawy. I'm used to seeing Shaarawy play A few years ago, he was great for the club, but I feel like he's lost something. Obviously, he isn't a young player anymore. He's not old, but he isn't young anymore. So there is definitely something when it comes to the quality side of him. But I get the feeling El Shaarawy under Mourinho is missing something. And I hate to say it, but if he keeps on playing like this, especially in these next friendly matches, I think Mourinho will give him a lot of attention. If he doesn't convince, if he doesn't do anything, if he doesn't create any impact to the team, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, he needs to get sold. Because especially now that we're linked with a lot of attacking players in the transfer market, I really don't see El Shaarawy having zero chances. If he keeps on playing like this, I'm just not convinced about him. That's something to note. And the second player is Felix. However, Felix, unlike El Shaarawy, is a young player. Last season, not even 1 year ago, he got promoted from the academy team in the first team. So, yes, he's a very young player, but he needs to improve a lot of things. And the most important thing he needs to improve is the accuracy, because Felix's accuracy is ridiculous. I didn't watch the full match yesterday, but one of the few things which I saw in the first half was Felix getting a long ball from Mancini or Cristante, I can't remember who it was, and El Shaarawy was running in the box. Felix had plenty of time and plenty of space to perfectly cross it in, and he whipped it, and it went from Portugal into Spain. It was tremendous, and especially against a team who didn't create many chances where we could have easily scored more goals. Those are the mistakes which you need to avoid. Now, one thing about Felix, which I will say, is that he started this friendly match and then got substituted off after 30 minutes. But he started this match, and he also started the friendly match against Sunderland. So, you see, Mourinho, in my opinion, is considering a lot of things when it comes to Felix in these friendly matches, because he knows that if Felix doesn't perform well, then unfortunately, potentially he'll get loaned out, but he knows that he won't have the same chances as he had last season this season. Because last season was all about, taking time and all of that. This season, if Felix plays like this, he won't get many chances. So I think Mourinho is experimenting with Felix a lot, and that's exactly why Tammy didn't start yesterday and Felix started again. So that is definitely something to point out. Very positive from Zaniolo, who in a very weird situation, of being constantly talked about when it comes to transfer news, is responding the best way possible to all these not criticisms, but all these rumors. So very good approach from Zaniolo in both friendly matches. Got the captain badge yesterday, which in my opinion is a very strong transfer message. You're giving the captain band. Yes, it's a friendly match. You're giving, however, the captain band to someone who is linked. He's been put on the transfer market. All we talk about is Zaniolo going to Juventus. It's definitely a clear transfer message. And this is exactly what I was saying yesterday. Now, Zaniolo can easily stay. He's not close to Juventus anymore because Juventus isn't willing to pay 50 million euros. And all of that. A very good approach from Zaniolo, especially because we talked many times about his weak mentality. This is a perfect example of his mentality growing. In the middle of where Sky Sports Italy is every day talking about him, and he knows this, Zaniolo's responding well. Zaniolo 2 years ago, in the middle of all these rumors, in the middle of, Zaniolo potentially goes to Juventus, Zaniolo stays, Zaniolo's not happy, Zaniolo wouldn't performed like this. So you can definitely tell, yes, he's evolving, mentally, and hopefully if he stays, this mental evolution can also occur, in the real part of the season. So that's the positive note. And another positive note is Trippi. And, I'm fed up of saying this every single day, but experiment more with young players, because you can definitely see Mourinho doing this. Trippi got played yesterday, he scored, and he's a defender, didn't concede a goal, clean sheet, and also bagged the goal. Volpato in the first friendly match scored 2 goals. You see, young players are good players. And I think this season, as much as I said before, we won't have a lot of time to experiment with these players. I think this season we will see Mourinho experimenting with a lot of them. So I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but this doesn't mean that he will start, academy players in every single match. But I think he will give a lot of shout outs to these young stars, or potentially they could get loaned off, grab more experience, and then come back. So yeah, I mean, looking at the starting lineup, as you can see from the screen, it was Rui Patricio, Trippi, Smalling, and Mancini. Mancini and Smalling know each other so well, and that is another reason of why. Yet another clean sheet. Mancini way too aggressive though. He hasn't started the season in a great way. He needs to improve when it comes to maintaining his aggression. And in a friendly match against a Portuguese team, he got a yellow card, and that's what he needs to avoid. Spinazzola yesterday didn't do major things. We obviously know Spinazzola's running down that line, defending, attacking, and doing everything at the same time. He was chilled yesterday, didn't commit any mistakes, but didn't do anything major. Cristante and Vertu played in the middle, which weren't that convincing in my opinion. Korsdorp wasn't convincing, and Celik, however, was really convincing with that sprint in the second half, which then led to Tammy, which, speaking about Tammy, he missed the penalty. But that links with what I was saying at the start. It's completely normal. It was a shit penalty. Imagine if you took that in a Conference League final, if we got, if you did end up in penalties, but, it takes time to get readapted. So, it's a friendly match, experiment. It was a bad penalty, we definitely need to emphasize that. But again, Tammy did not play 1 minute in the last friendly match or in the one before that. So he played 20 minutes in this friendly match, missed the penalty. You can see he needs to get readapted, which is totally normal. So yeah, I mean, we won. It was the most important thing. We kept a clean sheet. It was even more important than winning, I think. But now, obviously, friendly matches are going to be a bit tougher. We're playing Sporting Lisbon, Nice, and Tottenham over the course of July for our last friendly matches. So we'll see how the team, especially defensively, kind of approaches the matches against these higher quality teams. So it'll be interesting to document them and see what happens. People are asking for transfer news. Transfer news will come in a bit. Double live stream today. So this live stream was dedicated all on yesterday's friendly match. I'll go live after this again to speak about transfer news. Mostly speaking about Dybala. And tomorrow we have a guest coming on. We've got a Roma journalist coming on for half an hour. So he will, kind of speak to us and talk to us, and we can ask him questions all about Roma's transfer market. So today, this live stream was all about the friendly match. In fact, I'll continue to speak about it in a second, and then we'll go live again in a couple of hours speaking about transfer news. Most probably going to be on Dybala because it's the big hit in this transfer. And yeah, I mean, what do you want to talk about next? One thing which I was going to say, Celik. Celik had a very, very, very good approach yesterday, as I said before, both defensively and when it comes to attacking more. So Celik definitely, you can see that, and this is what Mourinho wanted, to have most players as possible, new players at the start of this kind of tour in Portugal, because communication gets maximized. So I think Celik is improving day by day, and yesterday he played way better than Korsdorp, who in my opinion was one of the worst players yesterday. If he keeps on this rhythm, potentially on Tuesday against Sporting Lisbon, against Nice, against Tottenham, I think he will tell Mourinho that he is going to start the season over Korsdorp. So that is definitely it. What do you think about Vertu and Cristante? Cristante better than Vertu yesterday, I think, but I think one thing about Vertu and Cristante is that you can tell that over the course of the last part of the season, Cristante wasn't used to playing next to Vertu, because Cristante was used to playing next to Oliveira over the course of the last part of the season, and he was also kind of used to play next to Mkhitaryan, potentially also next to Pellegrini. Yes, he did play next to Vertu, but you can definitely tell that the two don't have great communication, so it's definitely one thing which Mourinho will focus on. But up to now, right now, Matic will be your starting player. He got subbed in. yesterday. Didn't start the match but got subbed in. So out of Cristante there to one Matic, I think the two starting players right now, obviously waiting for new players to come in, are Cristante and Matic without a doubt. Hear about 4 players involved in a swap with Atalanta. Heard about 4 players involved in a swap deal with Atalanta. Indeed, there have been contacts. We've talked about that in a couple of days ago. So if you haven't already, make sure to watch that live stream, which is now a video. Yeah, there are contacts between Atalanta and Roma. Both teams are interested in they're interested in 2 of our players, which are El Shaarawy and Corles Perez, and we're interested in 2 of their players, which are Pasalic and Muriel. So tomorrow we can ask this Roma journalist who will join us tomorrow for half an hour all these questions. So tonight, prepare all the questions you want to ask him. And yeah, if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash the subscribe button. And also don't forget to smash the like button in this video as well. If you haven't already, make sure to share the link of my channel with your families and friends. And also follow me on Instagram over there on the orange box, over at Simon Lowerscore, AS Lowerscore. Let me see your man of the match. I get a weird feeling it's Zaniolo because it was my man of the match by far, especially with all this. Mentally he's improving, and I'll be honest with you, it is a friendly match, don't overhype myself, but no, it's important to see Zaniolo in this shape. It means that, in a way, he wants to kind of say, shut up to every transfer rumours. So yeah, majority of you guys says Zaniolo man of the match, and I totally agree. So if you haven't already, subscribe, smash the like button, follow me on Instagram, and I will catch you in a couple of hours, and we'll talk about transfer news. These are very, very significant hours about Dybala. In fact, there has been, in these last minutes even, a call between Thiago Pinto and Dybala's agent. So hopefully we've got positive news. I'm getting positive vibes, but it's very significant hours when it comes to the Dybala deal. So apparently Gianluca Di Marzio has confirmed that now it's between Roma and Napoli. Inter Milan have kind of retreated themselves from the deal, so it's good for us.